All right. Welcome back to No Filter MMA. This, of course, is your boy BJ back with another pre-fight, I guess, prediction or, uh, how I see this fight's going to play out. Um, it's UFC Edmonton. They're in Canada. Of course, the Canadians are going to try to represent. I'm a little let down that the Canadian Strangler herself is not on this card. But it is what it is. I'm sure in the back of her mind she wanted to be on this card, but instead we got a host of other Canadians trying to represent for tonight. But as far as Ariane de Silva, I can't help but not call her Lipsky. Ariane Lipsky versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. This fight right here, this is a pivotal fight at flyweight. You know what I'm saying? These are, some of the more dangerous fighters in the division that some of these new girls are going to have to, watch out for. This, fighters like these two are why this division is so deep, you know what I'm saying? Because when you get to even to the lower rank of the top 15, you run into people like Ariane Lipsky, Jasmine Jasudavicius, Casey O'Neill, people like that are still ultra dangerous, and fights amongst the lower ranks, you know what I'm saying, are very high level, high stakes fights. I think that this division, out of all the women's divisions, these lower ranked fights and even some of the unranked fights have much more implications on them than other divisions. You know what I'm saying? These lower ranked strawweight fights, they don't really have that much of an impact on the division. They don't really have that much of, it's not, they're not attention grabbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not, we're not anticipating these fights at strawweight, the lower ranked. There's just, a couple weeks ago on the card, there was some lower ranked strawweight fights, and we weren't super pumped about them, We weren't super pumped about those fights. But when you go to 135 pounds, 125 pounds, however, you run into fights like this, and this fight is very dangerous. Both of these girls have been in the division for a long time, and, they've proven who they are and what they are. But and either one of these girls has the power to turn back any of the newcomers in the division. These girls that are coming, like Jamie Lynn Horth, or, people like that, Wayne Kong. These fighters right here on the screen, and fighters like that, and Miranda Maverick, and Montana De La Rosa, and JJ Aldridge, and Miranda, all those fights, Lipsky, Jasudavicius, those are gonna be some tough fights for these newcomers. And that just speaks to the depth of the division. That speaks to, even like Veronica Macedo in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, these fights are gonna speak to the depth of the division. And that, that rant I just went on is why 125 pounds is what it is. But when you get to this fight right here, I think it's a good matchup. Both of these fighters are looking to really burst through to the top. Lipsky's been on a good trajectory, had a couple setbacks, but she's been getting it together. She's been looking much better. Beat Casey O'Neill, got beat by Silva, and beat a lot of good fighters, coming up in the division. Her record is not jumping out to me at the moment, but we all know who Lipsky's, beat in the division. And Jasudavicius is clawing her way up, dirty, gritty, fighter, durable fighter. Not the most technically sound fighter, but, will bite down on her mouthpiece and be tough and come forward. It's kind of hard to deny fighters like that. And she has all the heart in the world. But the problem with it is, if I was Jasudavicius, I wouldn't get into a slugfest with Ariane Lipsky. You know what I'm saying? Because we have seen in multiple fights with Lipsky that if you try to get into that mode with her, that's where she's, that when she starts swinging, that's where the power, like, Lipsky can put girls down with that power. Sometimes you have to be more calculated with a fighter, a developing fighter like Lipsky, a fighter who's made those strides in their game like Lipsky, and who's putting their best talents forward. Lipsky's been very patient. She's been very accurate. Her speed has been better. She's bulked up in size. To me, she's not looking like a strawweight anymore. She's looking like a real, flyweight. At the face-offs yesterday, standing across from Jasudavicius, because Jasudavicius, to me, is one of the bigger fighters at 125 pounds. She's not the biggest, but she's one of the bigger, longer fighters in the division, and Lipsky matched her in size. You know what I'm saying? Lipski looked bulked up, you know what I'm saying, in the last few fights, and I like it because she's really, it helps her power, you know, it helps her be more of a threat. She can sit some of these flyweights down because she came in as this devastating fighter, and then we didn't see that for a long time, and now we're seeing it. You know, these girls see a weakness in Lipski and think that they can overwhelm Lipski, like Casey O'Neill, the big mistake. You know, Casey paid for that. She paid for that, you know what I'm saying, that mentality, you know, and Lipski, you know, took advantage of it. You know, you have to be calculated. You know, and there's other brawlers in this division, you know, Jasudavicius, you know, people like that, Montana De La Rosa. And Montana, we didn't see the same Montana that fought KGB this last time. We didn't see that Montana against Ariane Lipski. We saw a very patient and very calculated De La Rosa, and that was how she won the fight. That's the only way she won the fight. And we saw when Lipski, even in that fight, when Lipski landed a big punch, Montana was like, whoa, like, let me get this fight to the ground. Like, this girl, like, this is not phantom power. This girl got power, you know? And I think that Jasudavicius is going to have to show us another level in here to beat Lipski. You know, Lipski's takedown defense is on point. Her speed is on point. Her counter striking is on point. Arguably the best counter striker in the division. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and when she is on her counter punching game, the consequences are high. You know, getting countered clean by Lipski is a risk. That's a bad risk in a fight. And Jasudavicius, to me, you know, she doesn't really fight behind a jab like that. You know, she just kind of comes in throwing punches. She doesn't have that much power, you know, and I feel like Jasudavicius is really going to have to show us another level in here to beat Lipski. You know, like, you know, her style has gotten her this far, but she's not going to get very far like that. And when she runs into people like Lipski, she's going to have to show us some growth and some technique, I think, you know what I'm saying, to get past Lipski, because Lipski's a better fighter than she was in the past. So we're going to see, man. I'm going to have to go with my triple threat pick. That's Ariane Lipski. I got Ariane Lipski hurting Jasudavicius in this fight. I think Lipski can land something to hurt Jasudavicius. The body kick is going to be there for Lipski. And I really think that she can expose Jasudavicius, especially if Jasudavicius gets reckless and crazy in here. So that's my prediction, guys. Let me know what y'all think. This is your boy BJ back from No Filter MMA. Drop those comments in the comment section. Hit that like, hit that dislike, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Your boy is out.